Hello everyone. In this video, let us talk about emacsclient. Now, emacsclient is basically a way to open a file in already running Emacs. Now, in case you are familiar with Emacs and you are using it, I'm sure you know that it is not really the super fastest editor because it is not really just an editor. It can do a lot of other things. And usually when you start Emacs, it will take at least a couple of seconds, which is not really a massive problem, at least for me, but it can be a problem for many people. And this is something that you can avoid if you want to maybe open a file very quickly in existing running Emacs, and you don't really want to load all the configurations. So this is something I believe can be useful, and let us see how it works. So to start Emacs, you can of course start Emacs by typing Emacs-NW, but I do have one Emacs running already. And by the way, when you're running Emacs, you can either use a command called start server, or you can add a line in in your curly braces, not curly braces, in bracket, no, not even bracket, parenthesis, in your init file, I believe, basically using this like servers. I forgot the exact command. Yeah, server start. Yeah, this is the exact command. So you can add it in the Emacs init file. So to connect to a server, when you start the server, you can type in Emacs client -t, and then it is like open, like within like not even a like fraction of a second. I mean, half, not, I think probably like quarter of a second. And once you're done, like, you can of course do whatever you want. And once you're done, you can you can edit a file. You can then of course do something else. And I normally use Emacs to open a file uh, without loading all the configurations by simply running Emacs. So basically, if I run Emacs here, if I just do this Emacs -NW, it will open, but it will take like maybe half a second, and it will, because it is still loading some files in the background. Although when I run Emacs directly, it is pointing to my home directory, and it will look for the files, I believe, in the home directory, the init file. But usually when I run Emacs, I run it using a shell script, and I use it because I want to load my own configurations, which is stored in a directory which I sync with other computers. And that is why I was looking for a way to open it instantly. And I think Emacs client -t can be really useful. You can also connect it to, I believe it should work. I never really tried it, to Emacs running on a server, and you just want to connect to it, because Emacs in itself, it is like an operating system. And when you are maybe working on a file that you want to modify, but you don't really want to like open or load the whole set of modes, you just want to open the file quickly, and that is it. You can then of course in those cases use Emacs client, because it will still load everything, because you're basically connecting to a server. So you have all your modes, and you have all your configurations, and you can I believe then do your work quickly. This is of course one really good use case. And I believe what you can also do, I was looking at the documentation, you can also set your Emacs client as the default way of opening Emacs. So in case you have maybe a desktop which is like always running, and you have Emacs always running, up and running, you can actually set your Emacs client as your client or your default editor. And whenever any application is looking for an editor, like using the editor environment variable, it will then open that file in Emacs. I have actually started doing it for a few things. Like if you remember, I use I use org-roam, and in the org-roam you have the option to create like a graph, which is great. But when you click on the nodes, individual nodes of note, it will open Emacs, and it will basically pass the path of your note to Emacs so that it can be opened. Now this can only work when you have Emacs server running, but I basically was using my own script called Emacs client new, which I talked about, which I showed, I believe. so that the URLs are encoded or decoded properly, I guess. Yeah, decoded properly. But the idea here is that it will get the work quicker for you. And that is all. That is all I wanted to talk about in this video. I will explore Emacs client a bit more, and I will try to find more use cases for you, because I never really knew about Emacs client earlier. I learned about it recently, and I am quite happy and surprised at the same time, because this is really interesting and useful. So I hope you enjoyed something. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you learned something new today. Thank you very much. Bye bye.